Right, hello everybody. Well, here's a little bit of a repair project. I have a rental unit in town, and had a bit of a problem with some leakage coming through from the lip of the shower, where the seal, the silicone inside the shower had sort of come away, and some water has just been seeping over and has actually rotted the jib, which was down in this little section of the shower bed. So what I've done is I've pulled it away. It was just rotted. The whole jib was just rotted away. As you can see, it's had a bit of mildew in here. So I've pulled it all away, and for the last day or so I've been drying it all out. I've put new silicone, stripped this all apart from the inside, taken all the old silicone out, put new silicone in place, and sealed it all up. Sealed it up on the outside as well, and yeah, so I'm going to get a new piece of board to put in here. So I probably won't use jib. Most likely, I think I've got some mag board floating around. So I'll go out, it looks like it's pretty dry now, so I'm going to go back home and see what I can find and make a piece to fit, and we'll come back, tidy this all up, fit it in place, and hopefully we'll be, it'll all be repaired. Cross fingers. All right, let's go. Okay, so I'm in my top shed at the moment, and what I've decided upon to replace that rotten board is this. This is a piece of mag board. So it's like a magnesium oxide or something similar like that, and made into a type of a sort of like hard fibrillite type board, like the concrete or villa board that you can get around, but it's primarily sort of magnesium compound based. It's actually rather good stuff. It has the same sort of hardness and brittlity, I suppose, of the concrete board, but it's really good. It's easy to use. It's easy to cut. I can just use a normal grinder, as you can see, just to cut it. And of course, let's not forget our protection kits. We want to not breathe the dust, and we want to protect our ears. And yeah, so I'm just going to cut this to size. So this is just a bit of an offcut I used for another project. Just see it lying around the shed. See, it all comes in handy. Yeah, so I'm just going to cut it to size. So the size I'm looking for, the size of the space was 130 by 910. And I'm just going to cut it just a little smaller than that, because invariably I find that it's a bit of a pain. Well, especially I'm going to have to head back into town to fit this, so I don't want to have to come back and redo it. So I'm going to make it slightly smaller. I do have plenty of wiggle room on here, because there's a lip at the top, and there's going to be a bit of skirting board at the bottom, so it'll hide any of the crimes that come out of this. So I'm going to cut it down to 125 by 905. Just take 5mm off, and that should give me enough to play with. So right, let's cut it to size, and then we'll just pre-drill what we need to fix it to the boards. Okay, nearly there. One more cut to go, and of course I forgot to bring something to clamp it to the bench top with. So use whatever you got at hand. A bloody great lead acid battery, that will suffice perfectly well. It's not going to slip or grab or anything like that. There's no grain or texture inside the mag board, so the grinder just cuts through it very smoothly, just like literally like a hot knife through butter. So I'm not really worried about using it. It's just really just to keep that in place, so I can use both hands to work the cutting, rather than having one hand precariously trying to balance or hold that board in place. Of course, also it's oriented this way because I'm left-handed, so if I was going to cut like this, I would be exposing my poor little fingers to unacceptable danger. So hands away, use something to keep this in place. Big battery, it'll work perfectly well. Okay, so there we have it. Reasonably straight. So what I need to do now is pre-drill and countersink 3 holes across the length of it, around about centered, and I'll probably need to also drill a couple of holes for nails to put the skirting board on, but I'll wait until I get there for that, because I'm not entirely sure exactly where those are going to end up. So let's drill those holes, and then we're ready to try and install it. Oh, there we go, 3 holes drilled, just roughly. I just did it by eye because, say, they're going to be sunken down, and I'm going to put a little bit of plaster over those screws so they can so we can end up with a nice smooth paintable surface. So next we're going to countersink this, and I don't know if many of you people have seen these before. So this is a countersink bit, and it's, as you can see, it's got like a slightly spiraled and angled head to it. So you just basically, let me find it there. There we go. Okay, so we're just going to drill straight into there, and we just do it as deep as we need to get this head of the screw sunk down into the material. Now bear in mind, we don't want to actually sink this, make this hole too big, because otherwise we're going to end up without enough material underneath it to keep the screw in place, to grip it, and you could end up punching through. So you've got to be careful. Just deep enough to get that head just below the line, or below the surface. So yeah, let's do that. Alright, we have countersunk these 3 holes, and as you can see, I just pop the screw into that one, and you can sort of see it actually sits, well, you can't really see, but I can feel it, it sits just below, flush with the surface, so that way I can put a little bit of filler, a little bit of plaster over top of that, and sand it back, and you won't even know it was there. So I'm not really worried about removability of this, because this is supposed to be a permanent fixture in the bathroom. If it ever needs to come off, it'll be a destroy and remove exercise. Okay, so we're all done here, and now we're ready to head back to the unit and install this. Hopefully it will fit without any dramas. Yeah, I'm sort of hoping. There might be a bit of a squeeze to try and get it into a couple of those, into the top channel where the shower unit wraps over, but I guess we'll just have to tackle that as it occurs, or not, hopefully. Right, off we go. Alright, it's all cleaned up, so the moment of truth. Here's my board, here's where it's got to go. Oh yeah, let's see if it works. Look at that, beautifully fits. So I've got them screwed in, and screws are, yep, nicely countersunk. So all I have to do is just a little bit of finishing work on this now. I had to bend this lip up a little bit in order to get the bit of magboard slotted in under, so I've hammered that back down so it's reasonably flush again. So I'm just going to get some touch-up paint. Well, first I'm going to put a little plaster on this, sand it back when it's dry. Get some primer and touch-up paint on here. And yeah, and then once it's dry, then I'll put the, there we go, put the whole bit of skirting board back on there, and then I'll run a bead of silicone under here as well, just for safety, just to be sure that it won't get any more leaks under there. And we've got a nice new bead under here already, and a bead on the inside, so that should ensure that we don't get any more seepage coming through. Okay, so yeah, so that's about it. The rest of it's going to take a bit of while, but it's only a bit of painting and plastering, so I'm not going to bore you with that. So okay, hopefully this will be job completed. See you guys later. Bye.